but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good, but it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Manschool202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Yo. What's poppin'? My people. What's going on? Good to be here. Excited. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Let's get it. Music streaming. I hope it's not music's not too bad. What up, y'all? What's going on? It's good to be back. Good to be back. Who's here? Let's see who's in the chat. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up, please. Couldn't remember today whether I was supposed to be going live at 7 or 7:30. So I opted to, do what it do. So I appreciate y'all sticking it out, being here early. Let's get the phone lines up. I'm having a good time. Thumbs up. Everything sound good, my people. What's up, Kelvin, HBD, Sneaker Freak, Madara, Uchila? Okay. Edward Nelf, Kelvin, Madara, all the people in the chat. What's up? All the new Patreon people who are there. Thank you so much. We are streaming on Twitch as well. Anybody who fucks with Twitch, you check that out. We're also gonna be streaming on Kick and Rumble soon, and Instagram. So check that out again. Let's get the banners up. Let's get the numbers up. I'm ready to rock and roll. I got some shit I want to get off my chest. I was revealing some heavy shit last time we went live. I was talking about my buddy, a couple of friends of mine who passed away, and let me just check the line, make sure that the phones are working. I'll call myself. We'll do that. Thank y'all for checking in, man. Thanks for listening. I'm a little beat up today, but I'm happy to be here. I'm excited, man. I'm getting into a rhythm where I could do this pretty regularly. I'm getting a lot of people talking to me about how they enjoy what we're doing. You know, they enjoy what we're doing, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's no sense in me doing if people don't want. People don't want it. The numbers are getting bigger. The numbers are going. You know what? Let's do something today, right? Let's do this. Yep, everything's working. If anybody here who needs, who thinks there's somebody that needs this kind of stuff, needs some information, because I mean, we all got these, friends and people that we fuck with who are, in need, that we don't always, send this to them. Share it with them, please. Take some time out, just text them and say, yo, check me out. If y'all could do that, I would really appreciate that. We got a phone call already. God damn, y'all not playing. Get into it. Let's get into
To
it.
accept, press 1.
What's up? What's up? Who am I calling with? Where you calling from?
This is James from Kansas.
What's up, James? How are you, brothers? Good to hear from you.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I actually called in like the third or fourth live that you did. So,
Okay, awesome.
I'm going to follow up on that.
Okay. All right, cool. How can I help you, brother?
So I was in a relationship, and my girlfriend actually ended up leaving me for a brief period of time.
Okay.
And yeah, I found out that she was seeing her ex-boyfriend, who she has a kid with.
Now, did she leave you? Did she leave you and then go spend time with this dude, or what was or do you even know what were the parameters of this?
I mean, my perception was everything was going well, and then she just got really distant, and then
Thinking as to why she left in the first place.
I think that there's a lot of background. I'll keep it short. So she had a kid with this guy, and I think
before this before you or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When we got together, her kid was 7, and she's 9 now.
Okay. Fair enough. And so you thought everything was good, and then she all of a sudden broke up with you, and then you took her back, and you found out later that she was hooking up with the guy who she had the baby with. Okay, and then she came back, and what was her excuse when she came back?
Her excuse then was that she just didn't know like what she was looking for at the time.
Okay.
And then she like wanted to work on it with me, and then like.
Now, did she tell you she was hooking up with this guy or no? When she came back?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
I found out she was lying about it like several months afterwards.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
I cut it off with her because I didn't think I was going to be able to trust her.
Right. Fair enough.
Then, a few weeks after that, we decided to talk. I know you say the closure's for bitches, and I kind of agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave in, and I let her have a conversation, and then I kind of realized like how much I missed her at that time, and yeah. So anyway, I guess to summarize this whole thing is like it's been like several months now, and like I'm having trouble forgiving her. Like I can't move on and trust her, even though she's been doing everything right. And I don't know if it's like an intuition thing or if my self-esteem has just been so low that like I'm just not allowing that to be an option to where it could be her, you know?
I mean, can we both agree that it could be both?
Okay.
What you're saying, she's doing everything in her power to whatever. What is she doing that's different?
I was kind of, so back then, like I really wanted to book a consultation with you, but I was, the company that I worked for actually shut down in my city.
Okay.
So I was tight on money for a while. I couldn't afford a consultation.
Fair enough.
So I just recently got a good job, but she was kind of helping me financially a little bit, like cooking dinner, not expecting anything back, letting me stay with her every now and again. And
okay, let's be honest. Did you not take care of her when you were with her? How long were you with her before the breakup happened?
About a year.
Okay. And in the time of that year, did you not take her out on dates and do things and financially spend your money on her? I mean, maybe not, maybe you didn't pay her bills or something like that, did you at least, did you do what a guy does in general? Like where, I mean, were you a good boyfriend then for that year?
I'm gonna be honest, probably not good enough.
What does
Like
that mean?
reflecting on it, like I was kind of going through some health stuff at the time, and I was just wanting to stay inside. So when she said that, like she didn't know if it was gonna work because we just seemed like different people. Like I kind of understood it at the time, but then, yeah, I was being a fucking lame little bitch back then. But I've kind of gotten myself back into a good space, and now that, yeah, I'm opening up again.
All right, so here's what you got to understand. So one of the things is we don't take care of ourselves. I mean, you should never have to say I was being a little bitch and I wasn't good enough. You need to be good enough for you, if that makes sense. Because when you're not good enough for you, your self-esteem is gonna suffer, and if your self-esteem suffers, then your life is gonna suffer. That just stands to reason. And so, what we have to, I mean, I don't know if you weren't on the live last Tuesday, right?
No, I think I watched most of it afterwards. I tried, if I missed one of your episodes, I try to listen.
Okay,
back to them.
so here's the thing with that. I talked about a guy who was a Jehovah's Witness, and he hung himself in the house.
Oh yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, this is what happens. This is. I'm not saying that you're gonna hang yourself or anything, but I'm saying this idea of the fact that we just march on and we don't take our happiness into consideration is a problem, because the only person that you hurt is you. Understand something. Anytime you're in a relationship, you're making sacrifices. To be in a relationship with a woman, to be considered a man, what's interesting is you are already taking acknowledgement that maybe you weren't the best dude, you weren't being the best version of yourself. And that's respectable. But I guarantee you're saying she left and went and fucked her ex or whatever, sleeping with her ex. And you're not really holding her. I mean, sure, you're mad because she did it, but you're not really holding her responsible. The fact that she went and did what she did, yet and still you're taking responsibility for the things that which, don't get me wrong, you have to. So this goes back to a simple principle that I talk about all the time, is that you never let a woman define you. Because once you let that happen, it ain't long till you ain't shit. And I don't mean just you let a woman, but I mean just in general, you don't let anybody define you. The accolades that we feel, how we feel about the self-esteem that we feel about ourselves, is directly related to what we think of ourselves. And so when we're not being the best version of ourselves, we know it. Just because a woman comes along and says you're great, or somebody says you're great, what you're doing is you're also giving them an opportunity to decide when you're not great, when you're not, when there's nothing really reasonable about you, when they can decide when you're good and when you're not. And this is why it's important for you to take care of yourselves, even in the time when you don't feel the best about yourself. Like, because what you're doing is you're feeding into this negative energy, and then it just becomes a downward slope. And then the things that you're worried about, right? The things that you feel you're inadequate are compounded by things that will happen because you're not taking care of yourself. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you start drinking, or maybe you start drugging, or maybe you start staying in the house, or maybe you stop working out, and then everything becomes self-fulfilling. So you got to first understand something. You got to understand that who you are to you is more important than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because understanding what your value is more important than anything else. Now, I'm assuming your question is, what is the question that you're asking? If it's a feeling, or if it's not a feeling, or if it's because of your self-esteem, or what are you asking me exactly?
Yeah, I guess it was just like the whole like forgiveness angle on this, and like I've tried to forgive her, but I feel like I can't. And Yeah, I guess it's not necessarily as much of a question as just like
Well, there's
just
a
general advice.
question there. There's a question in there. You're asking me, do I think you should? What are you asking? I mean, if you haven't flushed it out, I don't understand that there's no judgment here. I want to say that to everybody that's listening, anybody that's in the comments, give me a thumbs up on it. I've said this 100 times. There's no judgment issue on whatever you're telling me is the problem. I'm just going to give you the truth, and then we can decide where we go from there. What is the question? Even if you haven't flushed it out, what's the question?
I guess it's like, I think you kind of answered it earlier. It's like, I need to be better towards myself. And then if I think I'm still feeling this way, then maybe the answer is right there for me.
And what would you think that answer? What do you think I would tell you?
If I'm doing everything I need to do to get better and it's still not working out, like,
then
for
you
me,
have to make the decision that's best for you.
Yeah.
And if that means to not be with her, then that means to not be with her. I mean, I understand that you may have some of the blame to this, but really there is no blame. There's no and this is, I'm glad you said this, because this is a good thing for me to talk about. And I want to appreciate you for calling in and kind of sharing this, because guys will say she cheated on me, right? What she did was she accessed her options. You can't make somebody do what you want them to do. You can only be the best version of yourself, and then show them that not being with you is a detriment to them. And then they have to have the intelligence and the awareness to understand that not being with you is a mistake. That's how you keep somebody. You can't force them. You can't, there's nothing, it's not getting them pregnant, having a baby, not getting married. None of that stuff keeps them in a real essence. People do what they want to do. And so when we think, if you find somebody that's important, you be the best version of you've got to be the best version of yourself, but you should be doing that anyway. If you're single, if you want more options in life, if you want multiple women, you want to be polyamorous, if you want any of those things that you want, you gotta feel like you're worthy of those things. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you got to be all of those things at one. All I need you to do is every day put your feet on the ground, take a second, and go, I want to be the best version of myself. And today I'm going to do something to bring myself closer to that. And if you do that, I promise you'll get there. Or at least you will have so much self-esteem, because it's sort of like, I use the analogy like a boxer. If a boxer shows up at the gym every day and he does his road work, and he does his pads, and he does his heavy bag, and he works out, and he eats right, and he's not running around drinking and getting high and shit like that. When he steps in that ring, there's a confidence that comes with that, because he knows that he's ready. You feel me? And that's where the confidence comes from. The confidence comes from the work. And what I want to say to you is do you have any male friends?
I do, but I don't know. They're not necessarily like the greatest dudes. I need some better friends. That's not even, yes, you should have better friends, because I think we as men, we think that we don't need these things, but we really do. I mean, that's why you're calling to me, because you don't have somebody to speak. But my point of this is, if you think about the friends that you've had, you've already kind of answered the question. What caliber of men are they? What would Definitely some flaws.
Flawed, very flawed. But and you probably would agree that they're not really working to be the best version of themselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but would you compare them to yourself, or would you say that you're more on track than they are?
I'd say I'm more on track than.
Okay. All right. So my point is this: if we took a cross section of men in general, right? Your friend set is probably a pretty reasonable reaction to what men are across the board. And so what I'm saying is, even in your friend set, if you rank as somebody who is better than them, you're probably better than most men. And I did a consultation last week, and the guy was like, I'm not special and I'm not this. And the dude was very very successful. He's making like $300,000 a year. And so what I want you to say is, even people who are making that kind of money, right, and that kind of career success, still go through the same things that you go through. So what we have to understand is the importance is, am I authentic? Ace, go back to Ace. Am I a guy who tells the truth? Yes, you can check that. Am I a guy who's credible? When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Check, you can check that. Am I empathetic to the person that I'm with and the people around me? Do I know that people go through things that they have not gone, that I may not understand? And even on the phone call, we've been talking a few minutes, you've already exhibited those qualities, which makes you, and I've said this 100 times to guys over and over again, just practicing Ace. We're not talking about the finances, not talking about your job or your education or your endeavors or anything. Just practice to make you a valuable person, because you affect people in different ways than other people do. So you got to understand that you have value. And if you practice that every day, and don't get me wrong, that value can go. Tomorrow, you can decide not to practice, not to be truthful, not to be credible, not to be empathetic, and then you're worthless. But think about how much you can make that decision. And if you do that, then I promise you, it will affect your overall attitude, and you'll be able to progressively move forward and make your life what you want it to be. If you can't get past this, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't owe her anything, just like she doesn't owe you anything. She did what she wanted to do. You got to decide whether you can forgive her. If you can't forgive her, be honest with her and say, listen, I really care about you. I like you, but I don't trust you, and I can't, and I need to move on. And then go move on. Y'all don't have any kids, right?
No.
And to be honest, just because you got kids, I don't always advise people to stay together, because if you're in a situation where you are this masculine figure who ultimately is going to be a man who's inconfident of himself, and doesn't allow his, doesn't demand his level of respect, what you're doing is you're creating a model for that. And she has a child, yes? She has a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Okay, so her mother teaches her how to treat men, and the masculine figure in her in her mother's life teaches her how to treat men and how she should be treated. So if you can't be in this in a real honest sense, with a real sense of trying to make a go of it, and I'm not even putting monogamy in it or monogamy not in it. I'm just saying you gotta be happy in this, and the path of your life has to be important. So I can't tell you what to do, but I can ask you, if you take an honest look at this and you don't feel as though this is worth sticking it out, or if you're so damaged that you can't move on, don't keep somebody in your life with the intention on, when you know that you can't be good to them and you're just going to torture them. Because, anger like that is, I always say, anger is a punishment we give ourselves. So we stick around people that we're angry with, and then we punish ourselves when we could just remove it. We could just remove it from our lives and live a better life. And the fear the fear of not being with somebody, that's not a reason to stay with them. And if you're getting back on your feet, book a consultation, man. If you need somebody to help you figure out how to create the options, we can do that. I can show you that. It's simple but not easy, if that makes sense. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate everything you said, Dante. I really do.
I hope so, man. I hope it helps you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I'm sorry you're going through this. And I'm sorry that you feel it, that this is tragic. And I mean, you wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have known that you couldn't get past it unless you gave her the opportunity to come back and you were feeling a certain kind of way. I mean, it's not, whatever happens. I mean, I think what we're trying to do is put people in position where they're making decisions about their lives instead of letting life happen to them, if that makes sense. Okay?
Yep.
And if you need me, I'm here, DanteDenver.com. Click on consult. You know how to get me. Okay?
I got you. Thank you so much, Dante.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Shut that down. Let me be clear too about all of this. That man, I think things happen. Life happens. Our ability to be happy is really our ability. Our ability to be happy is. Hold on, let me get this. Our ability to be happy is our ability to adapt
To send a voicemail,
to what's
press
going
2.
on. If we can adapt to what's going on, because things are always going to change. Chris, hold on one second. Let me just finish this point. Our ability to adapt to these things is that's our ability to find happiness and fulfillment and to be comfortable about our life. So, Chris, what's popping?
Hi, is my voice clear?
Yes, it is. How you doing?
I'm all right, and yourself?
I'm great. How can I help you?
Okay, so I need some advice. I'll try to make it brief.
Okay.
So I messed up. This guy that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I went over to his house, and I left out, went to the store, and while I was at the store, I had smoked some weed, and when I came back, I went straight into the shower with the intention of getting the smell off of me.
Okay.
Because I was fully aware of the fact that he doesn't like women who smoke weed.
Okay.
So when I did that, he immediately knew something was up.
Okay.
And I was forced to tell him.
Okay.
And when I told him that I had smoked the weed, he explained to me that it wasn't the fact that I smoked it at that point, I guess. It was the fact that I tried to hide it from him.
Okay.
So that happened, and this happened maybe a week ago, but ever since then, the vibe has been completely different. Like, we still talk, but the energy is just off, And,
all right, so
I don't know.
you know why? Are you asking why, or what's your question?
My question to you is, with all what I just said, how can I? Because I understand, we have an understanding. So my thing is just.
When you say we have when we have an understanding, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean that I understand how he feels about it, because he told me that it was sneaky to him.
Okay.
And I understand that he doesn't like me smoking weed anyway.
Okay, but what's your understanding at the core of your relationship, or whatever the parameters of whatever the relationship? What is the understanding?
Well, the understanding, hopefully I'm answering this clearly. The understanding is that I did something that he did not like, and he deems me untrustworthy.
Okay.
So my question to you would be, I mean, it's been 2 weeks we've been dating. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to ask is, how do I go about rebuilding?
Okay. Did you have a conversation with him about this?
Yes, I did. Actually, that same day it was dealt with.
Okay. What did you say in that conversation?
I mean, I was honest. I said that I purposely went out of my way to hide it from you. I didn't disclose that I was going down there. I mean, I went to the store to go buy something, but
that's neither here nor there. That's not the point. The point is, that you said to him, "Listen, I went and I did this and I screwed up." Right? You really like this guy?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you said to him, I did this, and you admitted to it, that the fact that it was a problem. That now this guy smoked weed. Are you willing to give up smoking weed for this guy?
Yes.
Okay, why? What is his problem with you smoking weed?
Um, from what he's explained to me, he just doesn't find it attractive.
Okay, all right, fair
Generally,
enough.
he doesn't. The smell and all that. He doesn't find it attractive.
Okay, do you? Okay, first thing is, so you what do you smoke? A blunt? You smoke bud mostly?
But paper, yes.
Okay. Did you ever try? You ever try extracts? Crumble, um, crumble, or dab, or any of the vapes? Do you have a vape ever?
I used to vape, but I stopped because it was making my chest hurt. Everything else I never heard about.
Wait,
Extracts?
what I'm saying, did you vape weed or did you vape just like what I'm talking about is nicotine?
Oh no, this is strictly bud. This is all weed. So yes, I
No.
did vape weed.
Oh, so you vape weed, like so you do like
Yes.
a Puffco or something or a different thing, and did that hurt your chest or no?
Yeah, it did after a while. So I stopped messing with those.
How often did
But yeah,
you do? How often did you vape?
honestly, it was pretty often.
So
It was
see,
pretty often. I have to admit.
my thing is this. I don't listen. First of all, so just so you know, like let me get to the weed part, and then I'll get to the relationship part.
Mhm.
I used to smoke weed, smoke blood, right? I didn't like
Mhm.
I'm like him. I don't like the ash. I don't like the burning of the bud. I don't like because when you burn weed, you end up with you're burning carbon. So you're breathing carbon. So you're telling me you don't mind the carbon going down in your lungs, but you don't have you have a problem with the vape of weed of I mean, are you familiar with crumble and some of the extracts?
No, I never even heard of that. And honestly, this is new information to me, so that's good to know. I'm not okay with that.
Do,
I wasn't aware.
do you have are you following me on Instagram at all?
I don't think so. No, I
Okay,
I doubt it. I'm
my
sorry.
Instagram is the Dante Nero, right?
Okay.
I will
Mhm.
send you if you inbox me on follow me on and inbox me on Instagram, and I'll send you a couple of options because what happened to me was
Mhm.
I started vaping instead of and I even vape bud too. Like uh there's a couple of handheld like the packs and stuff where you can put the bud in and you can vape the bud. The only difference is that you don't have the carbon. When you're burning weed, what happens is it sticks in your clothes and your hair and everything, and it just so I literally got to a point where I don't like to smoke bud. Like I don't like the burning of it. I don't like the carbon. And so I just don't do it because it just I don't like the smell. I don't like it. Now, is it the fact that you get high or is it just the fact that he doesn't like the smell?
He doesn't like the smell, and he doesn't find it generally attractive for women to be smoking. Period.
Okay.
Like he actually recommended edibles to me, but
Oh, so he doesn't mind you getting high. He just doesn't like. Now, what do you feel about edibles?
the physical act. Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
What the edibles? What do you feel about edibles? What's your take on edibles?
Oh man, like I've had multiple edibles over the years, and then they never really ever do it for me. It's so weird. I
Okay.
always get the recommendation of don't eat the whole thing, but it just doesn't work. I don't know.
And how many years have you done this like the edible thing when you having like how many like how long how often because there's a since things this technology is the milligrams and stuff. I don't do edibles because it doesn't for me it just keeps me high and I can't function. But if you inbox me on I'll give you a couple of options where you can use crumble or not wax or uh a couple of the little options, and I have a couple of pens that you can fill with dab darts and stuff like that. I am the vape king because I got to the point where I just didn't like the taste, I didn't like the smell, I didn't like the
Hmm.
stuff in my clothes, and I use those as different options.
Hmm.
And a lot of that is a lot more potent. But here's the other thing about this. Let me get back to the whole point.
Okay. Hmm.
You is there anything you don't like about this guy, or you just like him and I mean you really like him and I'm assuming y'all are sleeping together already, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So my point is, there anything about him that you don't like?
It's only one thing. He has a habit. Well, not a habit. I've only seen it once. It's only been 2 weeks, but he stonewalls.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, he not necessarily uses like a silent treatment as like a tactic when he's feeling whatever type of way, but he would just get very cold and
It is
he
a
doesn't
tactic,
open up.
but it is a tactic. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. It's a tactic. And it's a manipulative tactic. So let me just, and this is interesting because I get to give you the perspective about guys who are playing games. There's something, listen, if you like smoking weed, you should smoke weed. If you have to give up smoking weed for some guy that you've only been dating for 2 weeks, there's a problem with that. And if he's ready to dump you, right, because of something that you do, we listen. Then he's saying that one of my non-negotiables are, and I don't think it's one of his non-negotiables are smoking weed or not smoking. Like, he's deciding this is this, and he has a checklist, and you're trying to live up to his checklist, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you think the guy is worth it. But the question is, you sound like a pothead. Yes?
he said I sound like a pothead.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm not judging that. So the question is, at your core, you like smoking weed. Why would you be with a guy who won't let you be yourself? We're not talking about you. We're not talking about you being a cunt, and he doesn't like people who are who's a woman who's aggressive and uncooperative. The simple fact that you're calling and asking says that you're willing to make compromises and willing to move in the direction, and you like the guy. And then you tell me that he's stonewalling, which is a manipulative kind of way. I mean, I think it's fair for him to say, I don't like this and I don't like this and these are my standards. But to do that and then stonewall you ask for forgiveness, right? Did you say, I promise I'm never going to smoke weed again?
I didn't outright say that. No, I did not.
Because you're not going to stop, right?
To be honest with you, he did not directly tell me that he wanted me to stop. He said that I would like for you to, but I'm not going to ask that of you. But knowing that he doesn't like it and what transpired with that whole
That's
thing,
a sweet thing
I
to
wouldn't
say.
even feel comfortable.
Do you understand? But I mean, what would you do? Just smoke when he's not around?
No, I was just gonna stop. Period.
Look, and if that's an option for you, but let's be honest, if you're a pothead, Chris, you're a pothead. Yeah. I get it. I'm just saying you can't change at the core of what you are for some dude who you've only met for 2 weeks. I think you can have an honest a conversation about how you like smoking weed for whatever reason. It might reduce anxiety. It might reduce pain. It might chill you out, whatever it is. But I think you got to be honest with that. And if you say to him, listen, I'm feeling kind of, if you said to me, to him, if I was dating you and you said to me, listen, I'm really sorry. You're right. I shouldn't have deceived you. But the only reason why you were deceptive was why? Because you like this guy. See, we only lie to each other when we really care about each other. If this was somebody who you was smashing and dashing and you didn't like, you'd be like, yo, I'll smoke weed, mind your motherfucking business. You don't like it, keep it moving, right?
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is you gotta, I appreciate the fact that you're being cooperative and you're willing to make compromise, but at the core, you gotta say, if I'm a pothead, I know people that smoke weed for 40, 50 years. They're not going to stop unless they decide to stop. And so I don't think that you should represent yourself in a way that you're not. If you're not going to stop, you don't say you're going to stop. So I think I don't really talk about this, about Ace. So I don't know if you've listened to the content. Have you or no?
I'm pretty familiar. It's been like a month or so now. I've been listening.
Okay, so I talk about Ace. It's not that I don't advocate the same thing to women, but if you're honest and authentic, if you're credible and you're empathetic, it's totally empathetic to believe that he may not want you to smoke. But then it's kind of like he's going, yeah, I'm not going to ask you to stop, but I'm going to stone face you. You know what I'm saying? and manipulate you into stopping. It's unfair. Somebody in the chat, that's interesting. Does your attitude change when you smoke? Or is it
No, not at all.
Is
He
it
didn't even
just
know.
okay. So here's the thing.
He didn't know.
You still got to stand on who you are, Chris. Do you understand? Who you are as a person is just as important as who he is, and respecting who he is. And so I think you got to say it. Listen, you can say, listen, I like you a lot, and I really want us to keep moving this forward. But I like smoking weed. It's something that I do. And if you don't want to deal with somebody who smokes weed, I totally get it. And then you got to bow out, Chris. You sucking his dick, right?
Yeah.
You fucking him, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to decide. I bet you suck his dick better when you high than when you're not, right?
Yo, this is crazy.
Let's be honest. You suck his dick and fuck him better when you're high, right?
Facts.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to be crude about it, but let's be honest. So I think what you got to do is just say, man, I really like you. It turns me on to get high. I fuck you better. And I totally get if this is not what you want, right? I know I had a girl, she wouldn't give me anal unless she was high.
Wow.
And she'd get high and she'd be like, put it in. And I'm like, look, I wouldn't care if she was smoking a blunt while I was fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
understandable.
So what I'm saying is at the core of who you are is we take each other as a composite. Like, and you as a woman you're not just a pothead. You feel me? There are other things.
No, I completely agree.
There's other things that you bring to this fucking game other than just being a pothead. And so, and if he's saying, well, I don't really look, I totally get if he's saying, I don't like the ash, I don't like the taste, I don't want to be kissing you. But I've had, there was a time when I had a girl who was smoking, right? And I was like, look, I get it, but I'm not kissing you if you're smoking. So what you got to do, you got to smoke when I'm not around, or make sure you're straight, whatever. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I also am not going to find that attractive. That's a reasonable complaint. So what I'm saying is, Chris, inbox me, right? I promise you, I got a bunch of, I have every fucking, I got every apparatus, the puff code, the links, whatever, we can talk about that. But I think you have to say, listen, I like smoking weed. It helps me, it opens me up. It makes me suck your dick better. It makes me fuck you. And I totally say that I wasn't, I wasn't really honest. And you have every right to, but I'm sorry. And I really want to make this work. And if you can find it in your heart to forgive me so we can move forward, right? Then I'd like that. If he's being unreasonable at that point, then what that is saying is who this guy is at its core, is that he's unreasonable. Two things that we will always have to do, Chris, is give apologies and ask for apologies. We are all flawed. You come from a different place than he does. He comes from a different place than you. And what we're doing is we're trying to come together and we're trying to find those pieces to mesh together. And some of the things we compromise, that's the nature of compromise. Compromise, that it means that both of us don't get exactly what we want. But as people, we are important enough to kind of find a way to make the deal so that we're both happy with each other. Don't change who you are, especially not 2 weeks in. You have no idea who this guy is yet. And what sounds to me is like he's being manipulative already.
Okay, fair enough.
But you got to have that conversation with him. You got to say that this is important to me. I smoke weed. It makes me freakier. Relaxes me. I'm a pothead. If you don't want to be with a pothead, now, if it's this thing, I can vape. I can do it when you're not around. I can get high before. I'll get high before I come over. I can take this number of compromises that you can make. But I think you got to be at the core who you are. And if you're a pothead, you're a pothead. And I'm not judging that. Clearly I'm not. I'm telling you to call me up and hit me up. I'll give you some options.
It's the sneaky part that's weighing on me.
That,
Really, you know, like
but you,
I
oh,
don't I
I
don't like
get
the
it.
sex.
But why were you sneaky, Chris? You were sneaky because you liked this guy and you didn't want to. And I think you need to say that. I wanted to be perfect for you. I wanted to be perfect, and I still have this desire to smoke, and I was being deceptive because I didn't want to be but I got to be it's fair, it's unfair to you, and it's unfair for me to not be so this is where I'm at with this. I'm willing to make compromises, but I also need you to, if he's telling you what the problem is and you're having a conversation with him and you apologize and y'all make a deal about how you're going to move forward. The only thing he could do from that point on is go, all right, I'm going to give you a chance. I'll give you a chance to show me that you're worthy of my trust. And if he doesn't, then he's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He is no more important than you are. And the fact that here's the other thing I want to point out. The fact that you listen to my content, the fact that you're calling about this and shows that there's a concern that you have a concern to be cooperative and friendly, cooperative, and kind. You're a winner.
That's sweet.
You're a winner. You're a winner.
That's so nice of you.
There's a bunch of dudes in my chat talking about you right now. I'll take her. She can smoke weed with me. Do you understand? So just be honest with yourself about it. Be honest with him, and then see, because even if you're honest with him and you make a deal, and then he doesn't respond differently, or he's incapable of making then that weighs on him. Then, right?
Right.
Okay, Chris, and hit me up. I got a bunch of options. I'll Google and send you a bunch of links and stuff. Just follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is the Dante Nero. Just remind me of this call, and I'll send you a bunch of stuff. Okay, but you got to also have that conversation with him. And if you're uncomfortable, with how it's turning out because of this, you got to have a conversation with him. I mean, what guy wouldn't say? You said, "Look, come here, man. I deep throat better when I smoke weed." You gonna argue with that? What do y'all think about that in the chat? How about that? Do you understand what I'm saying? But that's real. It's real. Mm-hmm. But you can't that kind of that kind of sneaky behavior is like it's the lack of credibility. It makes you wonder what you're credible about. So have the conversation. Have an honest conversation. Make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I was kind of nervous. Hope I didn't ramble.
No. You're fine. You're fine. And there's an emotional connection to that. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm glad you called because I don't get a lot of women to call out, and I want you to understand that I call the balls and the strikes all the time. I call the balls and strikes. This is not red pill woman bashing. I want people to be together and I want people to be happy. I just want people to understand when they're being unreasonable. And I don't think you're being unreasonable. I think he has a thing about you sneaking around. I mean, that's not right. But look, you're torturing yourself every day because you were dishonest. Don't do that to yourself. Yeah. You understand? Don't do that to yourself. Okay? You have more. I
appreciate your time.
You have more to offer than just the fact that you're a pothead. You're a complete human being that you have to offer somebody who's worthy. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, Chris.
Bye.
I love when women call because it gets me to show a different perspective. Hello, who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
Peace. This is Classic. I'm calling from the DMV area.
What's going on? How can I help you?
Hey, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for your inclusion with women and the LGBTQ community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure to speak to you right now.
Dope. I mean, that's dope. And you consider yourself lesbian or?
Yeah, I'm queer.
Okay.
I consider myself
Okay.
queer, and
What
I'm the
does
more
it?
masculine.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Well, this
Yeah.
is gonna be dope. What's your question? How can I help you?
So my ex just left.
Okay.
We had a nice night. But we broke up. Well, actually, I moved out a week ago,
Uh huh.
and before that week, I was sleeping in the living room on an air mattress. Like she had asked me to leave. We got into an argument,
Mm-hmm.
and so we've been back and forth for the last 5 years. So to me, this is the last time.
Okay.
But it's still hard to like fully let go. Like I mean, she was just here like
Okay.
a
Let me
couple
let me
hours
say this.
ago.
And so let me, because I since I've been doing the live, this is the first time I had somebody who's in the LGBT community. Initially, when I did this, it was very masculine orientated. I was born in 1966. You know what I'm saying? This,
Mm,
and so I'm learning and I'm growing. And what I have learned is that the principles that I talk about are still apply. The difference is this: instead of masculine and feminine, what I talk about is dominant and submissive, right?
right.
And if we talk about any relationship, that exists in every particular situation. The difference is when somebody appears as masculine, right? There are certain things
Mhm.
that somebody who's feminine will expect of you.
Yeah, my mom has said the same thing. She was like, you're gonna be picking up the heavy shit if you dress in the
Yeah,
boys section.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
You signing up for that, right? But
yeah,
you gotta also understand signing up for that means that your girl is gonna be a reflection of you, and that's what I would tell any dude. Is I would tell a dude, a
mhm,
woman is a reflection of the person who she's fucking. You know.
right.
And so if you're taking the masculine, you have the masculine or the dominant energy, you have to have a framework. The first thing that hits me right away is that you say that you guys have been breaking up, going back and forth for 5 years.
Right.
We talk about ACE, authenticity, credibility, empathy. That lacks credibility.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, and because it lacks credibility, it reduces her ability to trust you as the person who's going to lead the relationship.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? Now,
Yeah.
what's the thing that breaks y'all up? What's the deal?
We were just raised differently.
Give me more.
She comes from parents who were, heavy on drugs. We both from New York, so
Okay, so
she grew up
she's
in Brooklyn.
lot of toxic trauma shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so
And I grew up with a mom that was always home,
right.
and very not strict, but like like she put her foot down.
Oh, you did.
So
You did. You grew up
no, my
that.
mom. Yeah, I grew up that way.
Okay. All right.
So
It's interesting
our
because
dynamic.
I could tell that already
Mhm,
because you already referenced your mom, so that you have a relationship with her, which gives you,
mhm,
it just makes you more sane. So what you're dealing with somebody who's toxic, right? And she's toxic
mhm,
in nature. And so what you have to understand is when you deal with people who are toxic, the norm is toxic, right? So even when things are going
right.
smooth, right? They will
Mhm,
sabotage it because they need it to feel chaotic. Because if it doesn't feel chaotic, right, then
yeah.
it doesn't feel normal to them. So
Oh, that's crazy you said that because I mean our highs are super high, but then when it goes low,
yeah,
it's
because
like unbearable
this is
almost.
what she's accustomed to. She's accustomed to this. She's accustomed to this yelling and the screaming and get the fuck out and all of this stuff. I understand it, but that's at the core of who she is. Now, the other thing
Yeah.
is you can't you if you want that to change, you have to your framing has to be this will happen or I will leave. And if you are valuable enough to her, then she'll make the change. She'll start to make that change. If she doesn't make that change, right? But I guarantee you this, and tell me if I'm wrong. Well, who comes back? Who comes back to hook back up after y'all break up?
She last time she hit me up to
Okay,
come
and
back.
how long was it? Probably longer than usual, right? But usually you're the one that goes back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know why you're the one that goes by? Because you start missing it, and you miss her, and you want to, and you're more sensible about it, right? So, but what happens is when you don't call back, when you go, enough is enough, I'm done, right? Then she goes, holy shit, I might actually.
Right, it all snaps back.
Right,
Yeah.
then it snaps back. But here's what you're doing.
But it'd be too late, I feel like.
Yeah, but what you've been doing is you've been training her that she can pull this shit for 5 years. You have been programming her to do this. And to be honest, you're calling me about it because it's uncomfortable for you, but what you've communicated to her is that it's fine. It's fine for you to act crazy. It's fine for you talking about you sleeping on an air mattress and like you can't. I mean, if you're saying that, so there's something that I say. I don't know if you listen to my content a lot, but here's one of the things that I say.
I do.
Okay, so relationships are easy. You got to know what your non-negotiables are, and then never negotiate them. So if you're,
I've been trying to figure out what that is. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the first step. But it seems to me like this drama is something that doesn't make you happy.
No, it doesn't.
So then you got to say, I can't deal with people who are drama prone. And it sounds to me like she's drama prone. Now, what you can do is you can set these. I mean, I don't know where it's going to move from here, and I don't know what you have planned for it. But on a base level, just in general, for you to move forward, you have to understand something. You taking her back is not going to change what happens. In fact, it just makes it more. It makes it easier for her to flip because there's no real consequence for what she does.
Yeah.
You gotta go. This is unacceptable behavior, and if you act this way, we can't be together. And then when she comes back, even if you come back and she gives you a chance, right? Even if she comes, if you give her a chance, the minute there is a inkling of that moving to the wrong direction, you got to go. Look, I got to go. I refuse to take, and you got to be out.
Like soon as it like just shows its face.
Yo,
like,
you acting crazy. Okay, you know what? I gotta go. Because if you think we're gonna get down like this again, you're mistaken. And then you gotta be out.
Right.
And then she's gonna call. And then because you're especially because you're the masculine in the family or the dominant in the relationship, she's gonna take your lead. So if you're gonna take that lead, you gotta maintain that lead. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be sleeping on the mattress again. 6 months from now, you're going to be breaking up again. You're just going to go back and forth. So, and it may come to a time where you realize that this woman is toxic to a point where she doesn't have the ability or the emotional acuity to change. And if that's the case, you got to love her by far.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. She about to be 40.
When you got a problem.
And I just turned 34.
Yeah, you got a problem.
Yeah.
She's 40, and this is what she's been doing. I'm not optimistic about that changing, but your frame has to be strong as hell in order to change that, and you got to be immediately. I'll give you an example. If I'm out with some chick and she says, "Yo, you're so fucking stupid," I go, "Yo, who don't call me out my name." First date, and she goes, "Oh, why you bugging? You being you acting emo?" Yeah, all right. Check. Let's get the check. Let's wrap this up.
You too quick. Oh, my boy, too quick.
Because let me tell you something. How does it get better? When is it a situation where somebody's disrespectful? You from Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, you let somebody disrespect you. After they disrespect you, right? The idea is, when does that get better?
I mean, I remember you saying before that if you're with a person that's kind of like on a lower level than you, that it's okay to, you know what I mean, like guide them or try to.
You still have
help.
Yes, but what you're talking about 5 years of you going back and forth.
Yeah.
This is you have trained her to do this. You feel me?
That's a damn shame. Yeah.
And understand this. Look, I'm an old school dude. I I got uncles that are on heroin, that were on heroin. They can't do heroin no more. They love heroin. I mean, I've never done it, but they've said that heroin is like getting your dick sucked in heaven, right? But
Got that headrun.
right, but they come to a point where where doing it is no longer viable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Nah,
so
that's
you
how I'm
gotta
feeling
make
right now.
you gotta make a decision to leave it. This girl might be your heroine, you know?
Yeah.
And
So
you
we should
gotta
stop fucking.
you
Is that
gotta
what you're
do
telling
what's
me?
best for you. You gotta understand something. Put yourself first, because if you don't, she won't.
Right.
Applies to you too. Make sense?
Yeah. I appreciate you so much.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. I hope everything works out. If you need me, you know how to get me. DontaeNetwork.com. Click on consult. I'm easy to get. Okay, if there's nuance,
All right.
but you get the point. You got to maintain your framework. You got to make a decision what your non-negotiables are, and then stick with that. Okay.
I'm gonna get on it. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate you too.
All
Who? I'm looking at the chats. Don't forget the Cash App. Somebody give me some money, because I'm throwing away gems today, boy. Somebody said in the chat, Lomachenko is fighting Kambosos today. I'll catch on the rewound. Rocky, what's going on, Rocky? Who's messing up the chat? It looks pretty clean to me. Relax. It's just calm down. It's all good. It is, and it was, and Michael Love said that is a great way to be given advice, is dominant and submissive. But the problem is if you present as masculine, you know, and men as a man, you present as masculine. Nobody should present more as masculine than men, and this is what you're expected to do. And so you can't, if you're presenting if you are presenting physically as masculine and you want to be king of the castle, you gotta what you're to say. I've heard a guy say to me, and we used to say, Patrice and I used to say this: do you ever get a chance to just love them? No. You always have to be diligent. It's like acid. Do you ever get a chance to just love them and not maintain a framework? That's like saying, do I ever get to take a nap while I'm driving? No, you got to drive the car. You want to be the king of the castle. You want to be the captain of the ship. You got to drive all the time, And with things, you got to be aware of what's going on, because people are looking to you for the guidance. And understand something. You know, when people, I've been asked about feminism and stuff like that. That, you know, I've even had a feminist say, "How do you choke a feminist?" Because even women who are feminists, the reason women will give up the control to somebody who they think is worthy of maintaining the control. Nobody's gonna let you drive if you shaky about driving. That we've all gotten into a cab or Uber where a motherfucker can't pull out into traffic, and you looking at yourself and looking at him and just hoping that it works out, because they don't know, they haven't been able to operate on a level where you feel confident about where you're feeling confident about what they're doing. That's a difficult thing. You know, relationships are the exact same way. You want your lady to feel confident, you know, and if she wants to do it on her own, whatever, but all you have to do is create a framework where she knows that the net is there. That if she falls off, the net is there. And if the net is there, man, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real honest. How often as men, do we want the net to be there and know that we're right walking that tightrope without a net underneath it? And the minute that we show weakness, or we show fodder, or that there's a chink in the armor, that women will see us and take advantage. It's a it's a difficult thing. I mean, it's not something. I mean, but we both, men and women both, we have our we have our downfalls. I mean, none of us. I've said this 100 times, that every time a woman wants you guys ask a girl out to on a date, she has to wonder whether you might murder her, or you might sexually assault her or rape her. I mean, like that literally could be a thing. That's a consideration that every woman makes every time you say, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name?" She's taking in information, going, "What is he safe? Am I safe?" And then once that calms down, but that can flare up again. Things that you say will make her go, "Oh, wow, what do you mean by that?" You know, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? And she has to be diligent because for the most part, they're the weaker sex and they have to, their safety. How many guys here, put this in the chat, how many guys have ever worried about a girl raping them? That you might get your dick, somebody might hold you down and suck your dick. Who's ever gone through? I mean, I've actually gone through that before, but that's neither the point. It hasn't happened often. That's nothing exactly. There's no days off. Never do we go out and have to have a consider. Can you imagine that every time you asked a girl out on a date that you had to worry about her? Here's what the it could just hit me. Here's what the equivalent that you in a penitentiary when motherfuckers is trying to take your ass. Can you imagine that? Cold Boy 757 said it happened once at work. And how did you feel? How did you feel to have somebody, especially somebody, how about Leslie Jones pins you up against a wall, grabs your dick? I'm saying. Macy Gray holds you down. Holds you down and jerks your dick off. Stop, please. Nobody don't want that. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that and some of y'all dirtbags in the chat be like, all right, well, I mean, mouth's a mouth. But you know what I'm talking about. It ain't, that's something that we don't deal with, but that's their burden to carry. And our burden to carry is that we gotta be, you don't get no days off. You don't get no days off. You got to be on all the time. Phone lines are open, 929-269-2922. Call in. Right on time.
To accept, press 1.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Ali, what's up, Dante?
Ali, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I got a quick question for you. So
Absolutely.
I've been hooking up with this girl for about a month, and she was over at my place on Thursday, and before leaving, we made plans to hang out again Saturday night. So, we're both going to do our own thing, but then kind of hang out later in the night. So I texted her Saturday, and she wrote back. She said, "Oh, I ended up getting tickets for something," but she offered to hang out another night, like Sunday or something. So my question to you is, am I right to be pissed off about this, or is this am I being unreasonable, or is she being unreasonable, or am I overthinking this?
Okay, so you guys have made plans already, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd she get tickets for?
I don't know, some show.
Okay.
With her friends, not with me.
Okay. So, you a hip hop dude?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite group?
Nas, Hieroglyphics.
All right. So if you had a date, there was one ticket, and I called you up, I got this extra ticket for Nas. Right? You want to make, you would say to me, I was supposed to hook up with this chick, but let me make some calls, right? How early before the date did she call you? How much time lead up did she call you?
Well, I texted her, but I texted her around in the evening time, around 7:38. And
when were you supposed to meet up?
Later in the night, probably 11, 12. We didn't set anything definite, but the idea was we'd sort of do our thing and then kind of hook up later on. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. It's real easy sometimes I appreciate the call, but also let's look at it. Let's spin it around. I got tickets for you. You're supposed to hook up with us. We didn't really
put anything in stone. It's really casual. I get this ticket for Nas, right? Front row tickets for Nas. I go, yo, can you make it? You're like, well, I'm supposed to hook up with this chick. Do you come with me to Nas, or do you?
No, I'd probably come with you to Nas, but maybe I would text earlier, right? Like I'd just say, hey, I was supposed to hang out, I know, but I got this thing. We didn't make any definite plans, something like that.
Okay,
something about that seems more reasonable.
So there's a principle that I use a lot of time called reasonable RFF. It's reasonable, fair, and firm. Anytime I'm in a quandary, whether or not what's fair or not fair, what I do is I ask those: is it reasonable for her to want to go to something that maybe is important to her? Fair enough. We don't know that, but that's reasonable that something could have came up that she, the once in a lifetime opportunity or whatever. Is it fair that we kind of said we was going to hook up, but we didn't really etch it in stone? And is it firm? Are we firm about what those boundaries are? Now, here's what I would say. Look, I totally get that things come up, right? But just in the future, I would like it if you give me a lead up. When you found out that you wasn't going to hang, I would appreciate the call immediately, so that I can decide what I want to do with my night. It's just what we're just talking about is just common courtesy.
Yeah.
So I think you gotta have that conversation, and that conversation is really important. You know why it's important? Because what you're doing is you've only been hanging out for a month. What you're already doing, this is a good thing that this happened, because this gives you an opportunity to start setting boundaries now.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to have somebody that steps over the boundary to say, hey, whoa, you stepped on my toe. I'm not mad. But just in the future, if you have something like that and something comes up, I would just appreciate it, because you called her or texted her and then she gave you the news, right?
Yeah, she said, she got tickets, I think for Saturday Night Live or something. And then she's like, but I can hang out tomorrow, which would be today. Right, and I didn't really respond. I just liked her message, and I just kind of ignored it because I was sort of pissed at the time. But
okay, well, you should say that. You say, I know you were trying to make it up, and I would just appreciate a little more lead up time. And you know what I'm saying? What if it was a last minute thing? She was dressed, she was on her way over, and she said she called, but the fact that you called her is kind of a problem. Like,
I shouldn't have done that.
No, I'm saying the fact that you called her is she should have called you.
Yes, I agree.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's just like, I don't mind you. Things happen. I'm not unreasonable, but I shouldn't have to text you to tell you so that you could tell me that you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And you
so
said,
how should I play it now, Dante? I didn't really respond to her message.
I think you should pick up the phone and have a conversation with her.
Okay.
You say, hey, did you have a great time? It was good. I just wanted to know. I wanted to just let you know. It rubbed me the wrong way. Not the fact that you canceled, the fact that I had to call you to find out that you were going to cancel. And I would just appreciate it in the future if there is a change of plans, that the minute that there's a change of plans, that you call me and let me know, what it is. I understand that things happen and opportunities, and I'm not somebody who's trying to control you or anything, but I would just ask that you have the respect for my time like I would have the respect for yours. You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, even you, I think you could understand that. I don't see how somebody could argue about that.
No, absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense.
And if somebody is arguing about, you all sensitive now, we ain't able to get, if they go, then you're even better, because now you know that you're dealing with somebody who's toxic, who you can't have a conversation with and you can't express. And if you can't say, please just give me a heads up as soon as you find out. Now, and it might have been that she just found out. Maybe you called her, but then she would express that, right?
Yeah.
She might have said, "Oh, you know what? When you text me, she was like, I just got off the phone with them, and I was," and you take that. But the great thing about this, I say this all the time. The great thing about being a pussy is that tomorrow you don't have to be, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the thing about it is, no matter what happens, if this is somebody who's selfish, is not really concerned about your time and doesn't respect you, trust me, it's gonna happen again. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
It's gonna happen again. So if this is not a
No,
one-off, you will know that it's not a one-off.
no, definitely. And I definitely see this as an opportunity to kind of set boundaries. So maybe I'll give her a call tomorrow, let a day or two pass.
Yeah,
See if she reaches out.
Look, I'm not telling you should call it right away, but I have a tendency to get it. If I got something, like if something bothering me, I'm gonna talk to you about it right away. Because I'm not trying to play a game, because when you let me wait, let him marinate, and then you know what she's thinking. Oh, did I do something wrong? Is he mad at me? Like, I get, if you're mad at somebody, be mad at them, but then say, yeah, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad. I'm really not in a good place, and I'm just not interested in talking to you at this moment.
Yeah.
What you did was unacceptable, and blah 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 blah. And you know what I'm saying? Do you understand how much more powerful that is?
Definitely. No, the way you put it, man, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think I was trying to think like what to do, but I think calling her and just say, hey, how was the show? And by the way, I didn't really like the way you did that. It's not a problem. Things come up. I totally understand, but heads up would be nice.
Just do me a favor. When you find out, give me the heads up so that I know what to do with my time.
Yeah.
Because y'all are not exclusive, right? Y'all just hanging out, right?
Yeah.
And that y'all haven't had the conversation, right, about what the nature of the relationship is, right? You haven't had no conversation.
No. It's
no, really new. So this is a great time because nothing has been etched in stone. This is how you get to the point where you find out whether somebody's worth your time.
Makes sense.
You want to speak up right away. And you also don't want to put even when you say I'm going to wait a day or two, my question is, why wait a day or two?
Well, the way I was thinking about it is maybe see what her behavior is, like what kind of a person is she? Is she going to reach out and kind of realize she kind of messed up, or give her the opportunity?
What you're doing is you're punishing her for something that she doesn't even know is a problem. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she might not know. She might be accustomed to doing whatever she wants to do and being disrespectful. Listen, there is a simp epidemic. Check out the episodes we have on YouTube. I just talked about academics and the dude from Fresh and Fit, and all these dudes is talking all this yammering about all this stuff, and they're and they're just simps. Talking that, yo, bitch, this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dog, all you got to do is get the right one, and then you all twisted, your nuts is all twisted up, and you texting somebody 50 times. It never, and this is interesting because, I'm a stand-up comic. There's never a situation where somebody heckles me and it gets better. So I don't let it go. I don't let it go.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle you. And if we have an exchange and you say something, I say something, the next thing is like, yo, get the security. Yo, you got to get out. Because I'm not going to let you destroy my time. I'm having a good time. I'm not going to let you destroy my time and destroy the people in the audience's time because you want to be a dickhead. Yeah. So it's even this idea of sitting back and let me see what her play is. Now, look, here's the other thing. Make no mistake about it. But if somebody if you call somebody and they don't call you back, that's a different thing. Yeah. Because her not calling you back is the action that you're responding to. You gotta, it's like ping pong, you know how you can't make points unless you serve, Yeah. So you can't hit the ball till they hit it over the net. Yeah. So if I call you and you don't call me back, I have to assume that you don't want to speak to me. You're either too busy, you're in the hospital, or I don't matter. Yeah. So when you do call me back, the first thing I'm like, yo, what's up? I haven't heard from you. You not with this or what? Because if you're not, I'm fine. We can keep it moving. Yeah. I keep a suck my dick in the chamber. I'm not quick to pull the trigger, but the minute I feel that indignant or that disrespect, yo, we have to be defined about what the way that the respect and the things that we're willing to tolerate. Because if we don't, why would somebody respect you?
That's honestly, like, that's basically why. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that I just kind of on a gut level. I mean, I've dealt with women. Like, I just on a gut level felt like this was like, it's totally fine to go do things. I mean, I think the analogy you give makes a lot of sense. But her not calling and or like letting me know beforehand, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I wanted to. I guess I was waiting because I wanted that to be the way to sort of set the boundary. But I think you're right. Maybe I should just call her and be like, "Hey."
And I agree with that. I agree with that. If you've called somebody and they call, not only that, but she was also like, "Yo, I'm trying to." So were y'all supposed to speak today?
We weren't. No, I mean, we like saw each other a few days ago, and then when she was leaving, I was like, "Hey, let's hook up again Saturday." And I said, "Yeah, that sounds good." I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing
right." But I'm saying after
the
tickets to whatever, she said, "I'd love to see you tomorrow." Was that the thing?
That was today. Yeah, that was going to be today. She's like, "I can hang out. Let me know if you want to hang out tomorrow." But
okay. But now here's the thing. Let me know. You let me know. She hit the ball over the net. So if you didn't respond and say, "Yeah, I'd like that," and then you sitting with the ball on your side, and she's going, "Well, serve."
Yeah.
you understand?
Well, I mean, I didn't. The thing. The reason I didn't like say, because in the moment I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
I get it. But what do I say? And here's the same thing over and over again. How long you been listening to my content?
Long time, man. I'm a big fan.
Okay, what do I say about emotion?
Can't have a seat at the table, sir.
Okay, and so what did you say? What's the first thing when I said, "Well, why didn't you?" You said because I was in my feelings. Get out of your feelings.
Yeah.
Take a step back, because the reason your ego is saying, "Bitch, this is what your ego says." Your ego is always that dude that said, "Does she know who the fuck you are? You the fucking Don. What's wrong with you? This bitch must be crazy treating you like that. You the fucking..."
Yeah, you're right.
That's what your ego is, the hype man. Yo, my man. Whose man's is this? When it might, and don't get me wrong, it might be that, but it might not. It might be, yo, I got Beyonce tickets. I'm a Beehive. I'm part of the Beehive. This is so important to me.
Yeah.
I'm really important. I really, really want to do this. I really love spending time, but this is a great opportunity. And can we hook up? I'd love to hook up with you. Let me know if you want to hook up right the next day. And all you have to say, yeah, I would like that. Because if she said, you got Beyonce front row, Beyonce. If I said Nas tickets front row, we going backstage. You mean I'm a meet Nas? Hell yeah, that's my man. I got you. Like, you not going, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in our head, it's our own personal insecurity. It's our insecurity, and it's our ego saying, yo, when I used to bounce, right? I used to bounce at the Octagon and back in the days, the Roseland and the Cat Club, the New York. There was always some dude who would go, yo, you don't know who I am? No, I don't know. If I did, right? If I did know who you were, I would have let you in, right? Why don't you tell me who you are so I could be? I don't know everything. I don't propose to know everything. And I remember one of the dudes from Force MDs, I don't know if I'm going back. I'm showing my age, but he was like, "Yo, you don't know who I am." No, why don't you tell me who I am? I'm one of the lead singers from Force. All right, well, come on in, man. Let me just come around to the velvet rope. Let me let you in. But it's like, how dare you not know who I am after I was on crack in the rehab? I don't have my Jerry curl no more. It's like, dog, you're not on my radar.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If I was bouncing now, I would not know who Little Uzi Vert is. I would not be able to pick him out of a lineup. Somebody would have to tell me.
Yeah.
I listen. If he had a hoodie on, I don't know if I could pick a Kendrick out of a lineup. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, it's our ego that puts us in that position where we respond in these emotional ways. It's just not. And don't get me wrong. If you back up, remove the emotion, then we can suss it out and see what's really going on.
Mm.
Clearly, this girl, and maybe I'm too much foreshadowing the fact that she was like, let me know if you want to hook up tomorrow, the next day. It sounds to me, I don't know, you tell me if I'm wrong in this assumption. I mean, you know her better than me. Sounds to me like somebody who digs you, and like she was like, yeah, I got to do this Beyonce thing, but I'm still trying to get this dig. Can I get it tomorrow?
Yeah, no, she's I think she likes me.
Y'all smashing? Y'all smashing already?
Yeah,
dog. You don't trip. You know what I mean? Set the boundaries, but don't trip. You feel me?
I should just call her now, and I think would have been the nice thing would have been to just call her right then and there.
Yeah, dog. Or said, look, is this? Can you? How about picking up the phone when she said it?
Yeah.
This is another thing. This texting shit is like, and then you're sitting there boiling about some shit that you shouldn't even be boiling about. When she's like, yo, I really want to do this once in life, but tomorrow, can I get that dick tomorrow? What if she said that? You wouldn't have been mad. You wouldn't have been mad at all. She'd have said, yo, I last minute I got these tickets. I meant to call. I just got off the phone. But yo, can I get that dick tomorrow? What if she had said it just like that? You want to blow my back out tomorrow? You would have been mad? Would you have been mad?
No.
You'd been like, have a good time. Here, you know what? Let me cash app you. I'm going to send you some popcorn. Go buy some popcorn on me. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense, Dante. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Of course, man. Yo, send this to somebody. Tell everybody who's listening, please share this shit to somebody. This is happening in a phenomenon that I know I'm bad. I'm a bad motherfucker when it comes to this, you know? So please spread the word. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks, bro. Take care.
Later. Yeah, let me go to the fucking Zen. Stop with your shit. Zen Master, I'll tell you, the dude is insecure. We all insecure. Stop being a hater. Zen Master Sports, let me put his thing up here. Stop shitting on each other, yo. We got to be better to each other because everybody gets got. You see all that shit that academics talk about motherfuckers simping, and then check out the stuff that me and Harry put up. Hold on. The stuff me and Harry put up.
Love. To accept.
Who am I speaking with? How can I help you?
Oh, am I online?
Yes, you are, brother.
Hi, Dante. It's Bernard. I've actually called in before.
Bernard, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Let me just say this real quick. Check out. I was talking about the academics always shitting on everybody, calling everybody a simp. Check out the video that we got on manschool YouTube channel where we got it. Him texting some chick 50 times. Pick up the phone. I know you there. Even if you with the and I'm talking about Zen because Zen said, dude is insecure. We all insecure, Zen. Don't trip. Don't act like you ain't been got. We all been got. I've been got. I'll talk about that when I get off this phone. Who am I speaking with? This Bernard, right?
Yes. It's funny. This has nothing to do with my question, but it's funny about the DJ Academics thing because that was one of my favorite episodes that you did talking about that. But he recently just released another video. I forget the name of it, but it's basically this chick from London who do these dates. Andrew Tate has been on there, Sneeko has been on there, and DJ Academics is one of the people that have been on there that's like the alpha of the alphas on there. And it's funny because I mean, I feel like you should go on there to completely school these guys and like show individuals how it's actually done, because it's just complete foolishness. Both Fresh and Fit has been on there from the Fresh and Fit podcast. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny.
Well, it's it's really about the numbers, just so that y'all keep in mind. So anybody that's online, anybody listens, everybody loves, send my shit to somebody else. The only legitimacy that I have is the only thing that people respect is the legitimacy of the numbers of people that fuck with you. So the only people that can spread the word is y'all. I'm putting out the content. I'm keep putting out more. We're doing 2 lives a week. We're doing the regular video once a week. Y'all gotta, I'm asking y'all do it. If y'all think this is dope, I mean, let's start this movement. Y'all are part of this. I'm a part of y'all. And you see, I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect my people. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong, but I'm definitely gonna, you know what I'm saying? We gotta be reasonable about it. I mean, Bernard, here's a crazy thing. I was in 4th grade, right? I know that sounds crazy. I was in 4th grade with them. I've talked about this a couple of times. It was my first party that I was taking a date. I couldn't hook up with the girl to have me. My dad was gonna pick her up, and we were gonna go to the birthday party. I went to the birthday party. I wouldn't. My dad used to tell me, don't smoke weed. If there's any drugs in the party, you want to get away. This was his his take. Here's what you do. You want to get out of there, right? Because they get ready to do drugs. Stand by the birthday cake and say out loud, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. He said, stand real close to the birthday cake. They will get you the fuck out, right? And so they would say, we gonna go on the roof and smoke weed. And I never smoked weed. It was 4th grade. Well, 4th grade is what, 9 years old, 8 years old, something like that. And I was scared to death. And my pops always, my pops was born in 1920. So he was like, like my pops probably smoked weed with jazz cabbage or whatever back when he was listening to jazz. But he was like, people were afraid of it. And I left early, and the girl stayed, and her mother picked her up, right? And she did 7 Minutes of Heaven with the head of the basketball team. His name was James Vaughn. I still remember him. Motherfucker. And then I came in on Monday to school, right? She found out that she had made out with the dude in the closet for 7 Minutes of Heaven. And then she broke up with me. How dare you, you awful bitch. You cheated on me and you broke. And then she took me in the middle of the schoolyard. All her friends, all my friends around. She said, well, let me tell you something. It's quits, bitch. Out loud, I can still hear it ringing in my head. It's quits, bitch. And you know what I said? This is Pimp of the Year, Dante. I was like, but I didn't even do nothing. I wasn't even gonna break up with you. That's what I said. It came out of my mouth. I wasn't even gonna break up with you. Understand something. We all get got. That doesn't matter, man. It's what we do today. I'm sorry, Bernard. I didn't mean to take up your call.
No, I got stories that I'll just tell in the future. But tonight, this one's just to forewarn the audience. This one's a little bit more on the heavy side because it deals with sexual assault. So I just want to
let's go.
Put a trigger warning out there.
Let's go.
So I know this girl that recently, I would say that she was essayed, and unfortunately, I'm trying to figure out how to go about talking to this individual. So what ended up happening is she's a dancer, and there's another dancer that she likes, and some stuff ended up happening between her and her. So fast forward, his friend, she met his friend at a bar.
Okay, and, stop. He's getting complimented. You got a girl who was a dancer. She was hanging out with another female dancer. Yes, 2 female dancers?
Yes, 2 female dancers, but also there's a guy who's a female dancer, who's the instructor. He has clout in LA.
Is this just regular dance, not stripping?
No.
Okay.
Hip hop dancing.
Okay, all right, cool. So it's 2 girls, they're hanging out. They were kind of fucking around, or they weren't fucking around?
No, they weren't messing around. These are two Japanese girls that moved from Japan to pursue dancing.
Okay. And so the instructor was there, the guy.
The instructor is friends with one of the girls who they no longer like talk or chat with amongst each other.
Okay.
So I don't know what ended up happening, but she ended up seeing his friend, the male dancer's friend at the bar.
All right.
And what ended up happening, they I guess hit it off, her and this guy, got drinks, and they went back to his place.
Okay.
And she said that she thought that he was giving her water because she was already extremely drunk, but I guess it turns out he was still giving her alcohol.
Okay.
And she said that he so basically she was in and out of consciousness and couldn't even remember anything.
Okay.
And she's at the time of this going on, she was a virgin at the time.
Wow.
And she woke up pretty much with blood in her underwear.
Okay.
In pain.
All right, don't go too graphic. Move on.
Sorry. So that happened, and she can't remember any of what was going on. So it's almost like she's in denial as to what's going on. So she's been seeing this individual again, and now it's almost like, in my opinion, and I don't want to do no white knighting here, but it seemed like he's kind of using her as his little sex toy almost, and then he's the guy who conquered this Japanese chick.
Okay, but what does this have to do with you?
So basically this person is talking to me and telling me all of this that is happening.
The girl.
And, yes, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, hey, it seemed like this is what's going on, but it's as if this person is in denial. And I kind of don't want to hear about it anymore, but it's just like I kind of feel bad because it's like,
yeah, I get it. But if you don't want to hear about it and you continue hearing about it, what's going to happen? She's going to keep talking, right? You trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho from somebody who don't want to be saved. You feel me?
Thank you for letting me know. Okay.
So that's what it is. I mean, you could say what you have to say. If she's in denial of it, then she's in denial of it. And but I think what you can say is, listen, clearly I understand the dynamics of this. You're a virgin, you don't have a lot of experience, but I wanted you to understand that I cannot continue to kind of have these conversations with you if you're gonna consent to being this guy who's taking advantage of you.
Okay.
And then move away from the relationship and let her know that if she's really interested in talking about this in a real way, that you're there for her, but you're not going to continue. He's taking advantage of you. He's taking advantage of you. I'm not comfortable with it. And I'll help you in any way, shape, but I'm not going to stand by and watch this abuse happen. And if that's because you're not fucking her, she ain't going to listen to you.
No.
And she's a virgin, so this is her first sexual experience. So a lot of times I don't think if we even understand the leverage that you have that somebody has that in any situation. You feel me? So be there to help if she wants to help, but if she's not, then you got to move on, dog. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Don't forget my Cash App, please. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to live. We can't get into this situation where you can't help people that don't want to be helped. And when you reach out your hand to help somebody and then they're not willing to take that, a lot of times the best thing is to withdraw it, because then they're like, wait a minute,
Cameron.
Cameron.
Hey, how's it going, Dante?
Where you calling from, Cameron?
From LA.
Okay, awesome. How can I help you, bro?
I had called you the other week about a situation. Just wanted to make sure, like, I'm on the right track.
Okay.
And
refresh me real quick.
Yeah, it was a situation where the chick I was seeing wasn't being reciprocal.
Okay, reciprocal in what way? In what way?
In that, I would go down and she wouldn't go down.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what happened?
And
I remember this.
Last you told me was just don't call.
Right.
Like, stop calling.
Okay.
So, yeah, stopped calling, and
she called you?
No, she hasn't.
Okay.
So pretty much I wanted to make sure
if she didn't call,
the response. If she didn't call me, that's the response.
And how long ago was this? A week? 2 weeks?
It was like maybe 2.5 weeks.
Okay, so you haven't heard anything from her since then?
No.
And she's not interested.
Yeah. And then I was wondering too, like, I felt a little weird about it because I didn't mention anything before, like how you said, like when you're stubbed in the toe, it's within your right to say
ouch.
Ouch.
Right.
So.
But you felt weird. Why? Because you didn't.
I guess it felt like I ghosted a little bit, but at the same time, if we're both not interested, then I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, you interested because you want to smash. Have you smashed it yet? Yeah, you did smash it, right? Or you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but here's the thing, dog. If she got called by Drake, maybe not now, since Kendrick's since Kendrick's new joint drop. But I'm saying, just an example, if Drake called her, she would call back, right? Because she would perceive him as more valuable, and this would be an opportunity for her, and she would perceive him as more valuable because of fame and whatever, money, whatever. Not that he is saying I'm gonna treat you like you the one, but she would just say, well, this is an opportunity that I need to access. And but if she's not, just because she don't care.
Yeah.
She might not care now after Kendrick did 615, but whatever. That's a whole nother thing. I don't even want to get into that. But my point is, the answer is what it is. The problem we have is that we don't want. A lot of times we don't want to be honest with ourselves. And when we are working on ourselves in a real way, in a real conscious way, to be the best version of ourselves, it's easier to accept these things because we have options.
Yeah.
Do you have options?
And I just wanted to make sure I was being righteous.
You're being righteous. But my question is, do you have options?
I don't. I know that I've been doing the work, so I know that the options are there.
When you say have you been laying the 5 bricks?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what gives me the confidence.
You'll find something else.
I know there's gonna be something else later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean,
but I also know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Oh, I also know. I remember when we consulted privately, you kind of told me not necessarily to be too picky because, I'm still getting the hang of things.
You're talking about in terms of laying the 5 bricks.
Yeah, just in relationships in general,
But when we're talking about laying the 5 bricks, so let me rewind that. Clarify that in case you didn't understand me. When we talk about laying, the first phase of creating the options is you go out and you lay the 5 bricks, which means you pay 5 compliments a day to 5 different women every day, right? The caveat to those compliments have to be that you have to give an honest compliment, right? Has to be honest. Secondly, it has to be, it's 5 a day, right? And the third thing is that you're not looking for a response. That's the first phase.
Yeah.
So if you want to move on to the second and third and fourth phase, I mean, I'm when I take a guy and do the consultations with him, I elevate that. But at the base level, that's the Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, when I said don't be picky about the compliments, what I'm saying is, what I'm in essence saying is, I don't want you to just talk to the women that you want to fuck. It could be the woman that's bagging your groceries, the lady at the supermarket. It could be the janitor. But those things have to be have to be honest. Do you know the reason why the honesty is important? Because in order to give a real compliment, an honest compliment, you have to be observant, right? You have to be present, right? The fact that you're not looking for a response or the number back makes the social dynamics of that exchange non-confrontational. What happens is every guy, when we talk to a girl, we trying to fuck.
Yeah.
How many, I mean, you think women from the inception of the fact that they understand the difference between men and women and we see them as different, guys are hitting on them. Look, I had a girlfriend in first grade. Her name was Damaris. She had long ponytails. She was missing the 2 front teeth, but she was cute as a button. Little Panamanian chick. And she didn't know she was my girlfriend, but my uncle used to say, "You got a girlfriend?" I got like, "Oh, who is it? Damaris," right? So what I'm saying, second and third grade was Suzette Rodriguez and Monica Perryman and Donna Pert. I had a couple of girls, but I sent them the piece of paper. Do you want to go out with me? Check yes or no. Happy face, sad face. Like, do you understand the inception of what women deal with in terms of the dynamic of attraction happens that early? First grade is what, 5 years old? So imagine you have from 5 years old to 21 or 31 or 40 or 50. Women have been dealing with men pursuing them. Do you honestly think that they don't know that you want to fuck them? In fact, a lot of times, even when you don't want to fuck them, they think you want to fuck them because they're so accustomed to every time a guy talks to them is transactional. What you have to do is be able to talk to a woman in a non-transactional, without that transactional energy, where you haven't decided whether you, because here's the thing. I just talked to the young lady who was considers herself queer, right? She's dealing with a toxic person, right? Who is accustomed to toxicity because it comes from her household, right? So the question is that girl worth her time? I would say no. But if you don't feel you don't have enough value in yourself, when you start to have value in yourself, you decide that every pussy is not good pussy. Every woman is not worth your time simply because they have a vagina. And so when you start
I think that...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the point I'm reaching is like with this chick that I kind of just stopped calling. I was like, the situation isn't as good as I want it to be, so I don't need to pursue it.
Exactly. And nor should you. The question is, are you going to go the rest of your life and not get your dick sucked? Is that what you ready to sign up? No. So what I'm saying is, here's again, what did I just say about me and stand-up comedy? Somebody that heckles you, it don't never get better.
Yeah. So
you cut it off. Then this way you're not attached. Now you're not like that sister who was talking about she's back and forth with a chick who's being abusive for 5 years. And not even on purpose. I'm not even blaming her mate because of that. What I'm saying is she's accustomed to this abuse. It's not even personal sometimes. Sometimes it is. A lot of times it's not. Most of the times it's not. Most of it's just to operate. It's the way in which people operate. You feel me? So if every hot girl you're looking at, like if you got she's smoking hot, right? But you know that the minute you turn your head, she's gonna go take your mail, figure out your name, your social security, and then bankrupt you and open up credit cards and then put you 40, 50 grand in debt. Is the pussy worth it?
Yeah.
No, the answer is no. I know me saying
sorry.
I got you. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. But I'm saying no, it's not worth it. I don't care how bad she is. If she's
like that, like
if she's a 1 out of 30, if she's a 1 to 30 and she's a 30, but she got AIDS,
and she only want to fuck you raw.
Or if she's blowing your dad.
If she's blowing your dad, it's not a good look, right?
Yeah.
So everything that looks like it's valuable ain't valuable. All you motherfuckers want to use people as dick cozies. That's the front end, but is it worth it in the end? We want to make decisions that enhance our life. We got to have a destination to what is our happiness. If we don't have a destination to where we want to be at, right? Then how do we know when we're off track? This is the Uber analogy. In order to get an Uber, you got to have two things: what your current location is and what your destination is. You feel me? Without those things, the Uber will never find you, and it will never take you to where you want to go. So,
for sure.
So both of those things are necessary. That means we have to have an honest discussion, an honest talk with ourselves about where we are, right? And we have to, when we understand that we're not limited to where we are, that we can decide how we want. We can decide the job we want. We can decide the woman we want. We can decide the family life we got. We can decide to have a great, like, little family unit with cool shit and cool family. We can decide that we want to be polyamorous and wake up every morning with 3 women in the bed and they all love each other and they kiss each other. Whatever the fuck you want, you can have it. But you got to be working for it. You got to be willing to make that sacrifice. And if we are just looking at the first stage, that I'm willing to bet my manhood, my credibility, my truth, my empathy, all that I am in terms of my character, because she got a fat ass, I'm going to lose.
Yeah, I think the point I'm at right now, like analyzing like where I'm at, is I don't have the options I want, but I know I have the tools to get there.
And if you start there, you can go anywhere you want to go. You can get anywhere you want to go. I believe that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are definitely limitations, but let's be honest. Have we done everything that we could do to get to the point where the limitations are actual limitations? We almost 2 hours, and I'm gonna say one more thing, and maybe I'll take one more call, but I'm gonna say this one thing. Everybody knows. I don't know if they do know. If you don't know, I'm a Q dog. All the bros, right? Pledging Q was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Motherfuckers beat my ass, right? It was absolutely one of the hardest things that I ever did in my life. Do you know what I learned from that more than anything? Is that no matter what you think your limitation is, right? That goal, that point where you think you're at your breaking point, you ain't even close. You're not even close to what your breaking point is. I understand it's uncomfortable, but it taught me that whatever I thought my breaking point was way past that, infinite distance past that.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I'll tell you this, when I was powerlifting, right? I remember the first time I did a 400-pound squat, right? Like, wow, it was like crazy, right? But I kept getting stronger, right? I kept getting stronger, and but when I did that 400-pound squat, I think it was like 430 or something like that, was the first heavy squat when I started doing HIIT training. I'm not gonna get into that; it gets a little complicated. But I did a 400-pound, and everybody, my friends, everybody was amazed, right? Do you know what my best squat was in my youth? 950. What? I did a 950 squat, parallel to the floor, 8 reps.
Damn.
You could go on my Twitter. You go on my Twitter page, the Dante Nero Twitter page. If you look at the back picture of that, I'm doing probably like 757, something like 7 plates. I'm doing that. Like, that's warming up. What I'm saying is, I thought 400 was it. 9. And I did 9 for 6 reps.
Yeah. That's more than double.
I did it for 6 reps, which means I might have been able to go further. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend that. I'm broke the fuck up is why I'm shooting stem cells. I go to Tijuana and stick a baby in my back. But I'm saying the limitation of what I thought it was not the limitation. And so any of you out there who think that you understand, and if you don't believe me, go on my Twitter page, follow, like and follow, check the back picture. Yeah. You'll see me doing 7 plays there.
Yeah, and I just want to say a quick testimonial to everybody too. Even though I know I got a lot of work to do, like your advice like really helps me out a lot in my life, really like life changing. So much to the point that, you know, I'm telling my friends about it and it's changing their lives. And a lot of advice I give is based off what you say, and it's helping a lot. And I'm really appreciative of it.
I appreciate you too, man. Here's the thing. First of all, I appreciate you, spreading the word, but tell them to listen. Everybody who's on this live, send them next Tuesday when we go live. I want everybody who's on this live to send this to somebody and say, yo, you gotta fuck with this dude. I think we had 2 women on today, 1 queer, 1 straight. Send it to somebody. Let's start this movement. I'm not playing. Let's start this movement. Something's got to change. People got to stop lying. Like we could be better. We could change this thing. It's crazy how people are so comfortable with lies and deception and lack of credibility and afraid to say, people talking without knowing what the fuck they're talking about.
Trust me, guys. It will take you out of a dark place. Like it's already helped me a lot. It's helped my friends get out of real dark places just by doing the work and being honest.
Look, I got this call. Let me go, bro. I'm gonna grab this call.
No problem.
Later.
All right.
This is the last call of the night. I'm gonna shut it down after this.
Accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's up? Who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
Yo, it's Rocky, Kansas City.
What up, Rocky? What's going on? How can I help you, bro?
Yeah, man. No, I was just calling, bro, before you turn the live off. I wanted to ask you. I was kind of curious. Like, I remember years ago, you were like, kind of like into the lying and stuff. Like you would be like, nah, just lie to the bitches. Like,
Well, I didn't say do whatever it takes. I would say there was a thing that I used to say. What I get called on in a lot of times is I was like, I used to wear a ring on my ring finger.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah.
Before I got married, so that when I took my ring off, right, I always had a ring. I didn't have the tan, which was kind of genius. If you're gonna be a dirtbag, this is ingenious.
Right? No. So I mean, I know the principles, ACE, and everything, and I'm with that, And I've always been that type of dude. Like it was hard for me to just lie to chicks. I would rather just be like straight up with them.
Right.
So where was the point that for you though, like where till you turn that on to where you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be authentic at all times.
I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah.
When you're lying, right? There's something that I say. I use this analogy. You've probably heard me say this. When you're laying across the bed by yourself and the shadow from the ceiling fan is whipping across your face, you know who you are, right?
Right.
So you can lie as much as you want, but you're aware of it. So if you want real confidence, how do you have real confidence? When somebody accuses you of something, the only way that you have real confidence is that you know you didn't do it. You may not even be able to prove it. You may not even have witnesses, but you know you didn't do it.
You know inside that you're being authentic, you're being true to yourself,
and that is what
nobody can take that from.
That is what makes you bulletproof, and that ability to be bulletproof is where confidence starts. Is that I am who I say I am, and it doesn't matter what you say. In fact, you get offended because somebody's telling you you're something that you're not. You feel me?
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my thought process was, the lion came from insecurity. And so the other thing was I was talking to dudes, and there was so many dudes who have been in, like the Joker been thrown into a vat of poison bitches, right? and
Yeah.
sometimes or you're in a situation where you're getting cheated on, and things are happening to you, and people are, and you become the victim. You get this victimhood, and then you don't feel like you're worth it. Dog,
Yeah.
I consulted a dude who makes close to $300,000 and told me out of his own mouth, I know I'm not special, but I was like, whoa, stop. First of all, nobody makes, legal or illegal, nobody makes $300,000 without work, discipline. Like, let's be honest. But now, whether or not you're righteous or not is a whole nother thing, which he was. He was a righteous dude. That's not the point. But what I'm saying is that the confidence comes from the truth. And so the philosophy changed because you can't have confidence when you know that you ain't shit underneath it all. And then,
Right.
and then then I was like, as a younger dude, I was like, well, if I tell the truth, I'll never have the things that I want. And then every time I told the truth, if I was messing with multiple chicks, if I was whatever the fuck it was, they didn't leave.
Yeah, because you kept it real with them, and they had the choice. You gave them the choice.
I gave them the choice. Some left,
Right.
most stayed.
Most stay, yeah. And you know what? I love the other shit that you talk about the different types of lies that we tell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's important
because I had that problem to where like I really didn't think it was lying if you was trying not to hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah, still
type
a lie.
shit.
Still a lie.
But it's still a lie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just being authentic all the way around, I feel like that eliminates a lot of problems.
And you'll find that women, the only reason why a woman usually, look, sometimes I mean, even if we're on the same page, sometimes people don't fit. Men and women they're just not compatible, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, most of the time, like I've said this 100 times, women don't know what they want, they pussy do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can have this list about what you think is popping. He gotta have this kind of car. He gotta have this. He gotta be all of that's crazy, dog. All that's crazy because she'll fuck a dude on a futon, on a broken futon in a basement, if the vibe is right. And then because she perceives you as a cornball, you need to make this amount of money. You need to have this job. You need to have this kind of car. And then she'll have a baby with a dirtbag who's now, where's your baby daddy? He's in prison. Why y'all broke up? He beat me. He was beating me. So you got a convict, which I'm not disrespecting convict, people who've been to prison, because listen, this is a white supremacist society. We're gonna get into that too. But let's be honest. You don't have there's plenty of black folks in prison who don't deserve it. Plenty of poor people who don't have bail money for nonviolent crimes. So, but we'll get into that. Also, don't keep in mind, when I close this out, I want y'all to check out the advertisement. I'm starting a political podcast because I need something to feed my soul.
Okay.
But the whole thing in a nutshell is that the truth is where the confidence comes from.
Right.
Because I can't and it took me time to understand that. This is the great thing
so
about this.
It wasn't just a certain situation that turned it for you, though. That happened.
There were things that I lied about, that I was sitting in the bed, and the shadow from the ceiling fan was whipping across my face. I mean, you gotta understand something, dog. I'm flawed. I'm not perfect.
No,
I still make mistakes. I'm still in a position where sometimes there's emotional weakness. I'm still in a situation where I'm learning things. I'm learning things from teaching other people and stuff. The thing is to understand, when you talk about Myron and Fresh and Fit and Andrew, all these niggas is acting like you're vulnerable, dog. Everybody gets got. Somebody got everybody's number.
Yeah, for sure.
And the only way you don't have that is to know that everybody got your number. This way you're diligent about the work that you put in. And that when you do lose, right? You're able to pick yourself up because I'm a human being. I'm flawed. I can do better though. I've learned this lesson. I'm going to internalize this and I'm going to do better. And I don't know what kind of person I'm going to be when I'm 80, but I'm going to be better than now. I get dudes talk to me all the time about Black Phillip, Patrice and Black Phillip, blah, blah, blah. If y'all knew the flaws of Patrice, y'all would lose your fucking mind. I'm not going to get into it. God bless the dead. I respect him and love him. I miss him every day. But where we were at 2006, when we were doing Black Phillip, till now is exponentially more involved.
Right.
That's why I tell people.
There's a lot of things that you guys talked about though, and like the back and forth that a lot of that shit still applies. I feel like
sure, some of it to a certain extent, but I think that I've honed it down.
Yeah. You kind of got it to like where it's not just for men. Like how you help some women tonight. You know what I'm saying? It kind of like the principles you laying down and like it's some mature shit. You know?
Because I didn't understand.
I
didn't have enough experience about this. So when I look at like Myron and Fresh and some of the things that they say is dead on. Yeah, that's right, but this ain't. I watched Sneeko on Rumble, do a live on Rumble. Dog. I mean, so lost, dog. And I just like, what are you doing?
Man, like 80% of these dudes out here, they need help, man. They just letting chicks walk all over them.
And it's it's only a matter of time till they get got. You see what happened to Fresh with the Asian chick and the baby, and he's whining and texting. You see what happened to Academics. You see, look, this whole thing with Kendrick and Drake is over a chick.
Yeah, it's always over chicks. Most of the rap beefs are over chicks. Like even the I don't know if you heard about the Chris Brown Quavo shit that was going on.
Yeah, over a chick.
And I think that was over a chick. Cause I was even wondering like what the hell are they beefing about anyway? And
It's ego. It's an ego and emotion and dog. This is a thing. And then we pull up a chair and watch it. We watch the fireworks.
See, like that's one thing that you and Patrice would talk about that I think still applies is the ego. Like you got to let go of that ego.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. You can't you can't see. You can't think.
Yeah, blind you. Yeah.
I mean, one of the Migos,
not bringing emotions into your conversations too, like you say. You know, not bringing emotions.
Dude, one of the Migos is dead because of ego.
Yes, sir.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had to bite that shit, bro. Like, I don't know how much time you got left, but dude, me and my chick, man, we've been together for like 12 years, right? We got 2 kids together. We've been like, she's a toxic girl. You know, she's been through a lot of shit in her childhood, all that type of shit, right?
Yeah.
So, like you were talking about earlier, like when people are just, that's just the way they are. They grew up in that toxic environment. That's just what they are.
That's what the go-to. The go-to is that.
That's their go-to. And we've been off and on. We broke up and made up and broke up and made up and all that type. And I finally got to a point where I'm just like, I just can't do it. I can't do it no more. I just started like, look, if a lot of things don't start changing like soon, then I'm out.
Right.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
But like for the past, I don't know, I want to say like 2-3 months, she's really been working on it, like trying to repair the relationship. But I'm like, I was already at the point where,
you ready
I was out the door.
Yeah,
I'm out the door already.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like, I don't know how much I could trust it to where if this is gonna be like maintained.
Listen,
what I'm saying?
it takes a long time to create habits.
Exactly.
And if it's important,
the habit, like the little things,
But if y'all got 2 kids and you're there, you not being there is gonna be different. It's different.
Yeah, for sure.
Dog,
because we broke up like in 2020 for like 6-7 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went and did my thing. I had a couple girlfriends or whatever. She was like dating a dude. But I felt because of the kids And I don't want to say I'm hanging around just
Yeah,
because of the
I
kid.
get you, but you're giving it a shot, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I had to give it another shot. Yeah, exactly.
But dog, when you cut them loose, you sending them to the wolves.
Right.
They in the wilderness. The wolves is out. This niggas is howling and niggas is setting up on scheming. You heard my dude just talked about a dude who took some little Japanese girl and essayed her and now she's literally getting pimped on some bullshit because she had no experience.
Yeah, right.
I mean, dog, look, and I'm not talking about my people in listening to the live, but dog, your friends ain't shit.
No, straight up. When you ask people that, I ask myself that. I'll be like, how many dudes I know that keep it real? And
your friends ain't shit for a piece of ass.
I got maybe one that I can trust like that.
And that's kind of depends on how bad the bitch is. So let's be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, but we trying to start this movement, dog, that where it matters. It matters what you say. It matters what you do. It matters. So I appreciate you calling, fam.
No, yeah, but I was curious if there was a certain situation or something that happened.
No, it was gradual. I mean, I'm always evolving, dog. I mean, sometimes I'll hit the live with something that just happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just something that just happened to me, and I'm trying to get it right. You feel me? So,
all right, man. Yeah, sure. Thank you, bro. And
all right, tell a friend, tell a friend, please.
For sure, I will. I'll share it out. And I'm always tuning in. So.
All right, bro. Well, I'll see y'all Tuesday then. Tuesday, the next live, 8:30. Holla at me.
Sounds good, brother. Have a good night.
All right, bro. That's the last call. I wanna let me hit y'all with this real quick. I'm gonna put something up. Man, I appreciate y'all calling. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD. What would Dante do? You know what it is. Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. Don't let me say this. Don't shut it down just yet. I want to put up this like and subscribe. I'm trying to figure things out as much as possible. I appreciate y'all, man. Like you don't believe. Y'all are dope. Y'all are dope as hell. And I appreciate y'all listening and all the stuff that you do. Don't forget the Cash App if you could, please. Like, subscribe, comment, notify when the live goes up. Coming soon, it's going to be my new podcast, so start looking for that. It's getting ready to happen. Man, I love y'all, man. I love y'all in every way that I can. Don't forget to tell a friend, y'all. We out. Peace.